Wow.
I'm not as organized as people might think I am.
Do you ever find yourself sometimes paying to work with a brand?
Huh?
In terms of...
Huh? We'll pay you an exposure. That's the thing. I'm so triggered right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so
It's
triggered.
like therapy.
I'm so triggered.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
What's your name and what type of content do you create?
My name is Mwenda. I create fashion content, lifestyle content, grooming, and travel. Mostly on Instagram, but a bit on YouTube or a podcast as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Sheila, Ajjie. I create, I would say, lifestyle content with a lot of humor and playfulness infused into it. Yeah. And I create mostly on TikTok, but I recently started Instagram and YouTube. Yeah.
That's for everyone else. I'm very familiar
Yeah.
with the content. Yeah. Okay. What led you to start creating, and what has been your best experience so far creating?
What led me to create was depression.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was during the pandemic. I had applied to some school in the US and I couldn't go because the pandemic just started and I couldn't find a job as well. So
When
I
was
was
it?
depressed.
When was this?
2020.
2020. Gosh, recent. Okay. I didn't mean to start creating. I did it as just like an outlet to just post mostly fashion stuff for my immediate friends. Then I came to Kenya in 2019. Then I started actually making now the lifestyle stuff, the grooming stuff. So that was in 2019. It's been like a good few years now, and now it's like my full-time thing. But what led me to start was just for my friends, so I can show like outfits and chat to them. Do you remember when like Instagram was just food?
Yeah.
That's how mine started as well, but just with clothes.
Yeah,
Basically.
I miss that era
Like,
sometimes.
really?
Yeah.
But there was no money.
There wasn't any money.
Yeah,
at
this
that,
is true.
yeah.
So this is called quick fire round. I'm assuming you have to be very fast. Off the top of your head, what is your favorite brand collaboration in a few words and why? Really quick.
My favorite brand collaboration was with a food candy brand. Yeah, and I liked it because they told me, be as playful as you want. We like that about you. And yeah, I love when brands allow me to do that.
Yeah. You've actually answered the second question, right? So the second question is, do you prefer complete creative freedom or a big budget?
Creative freedom. Yeah.
You don't really? No money?
Yeah, well, because sometimes when you have the budget and no creative freedom, they end up not liking how your content performed, and it's because you didn't have creative freedom that it didn't perform. And yeah.
I just like the money because then you get more freedom to do things with the money they give you. But
Okay.
that's fine. If you had to pick one outcome in a collaboration, would you choose number 1, a tight turnaround, or number 2, delayed payment?
A tight turnaround. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think you answered what your favorite brand collaboration was.
Oh, okay.
And why?
My favorite brand collaboration, it's not one, it's when I have a collaboration that has longevity. So I prefer to have a collaboration that says, okay, these are our goals for the next 2 quarters, and we want you to collaborate with us this whole long period of time. Because then you can weave in the content and create like stories ongoing. So mine was a transportation app, just because of the longevity of it. I really enjoyed that collaboration. Yeah, just because of longevity.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stability, because I think we don't have it as creators sometimes. Yeah. Next question, is it the same as yours?
Do you prefer complete creative freedom or a big budget?
Big budget.
Yeah.
Big budget.
Okay. You didn't even take
100%.
any time.
Because I feel like there's always room to negotiate. There's always room to, if they don't give you the freedom, you can fight for the freedom, right? But if the money's not moving, it's harder to fight for more money and more freedom with the creative process.
Well, in my experience, with creative freedom and when I'm allowed to do whatever I can do, then I can show them the best that I can do. And then, so next time when they're like, we really liked what you did, I'm like, okay, but now that you know what I can do, this is now what, you know.
Yeah, true. Okay.
So they can also increase the budget based on.
And I think as well with your type of content, we act like we didn't know each other from the first card.
Yeah.
But from your type of content, I think it's so much more like colorful, and especially when there's humor involved. A lot of brands have very strict guidelines. So if you're trying to incorporate humor, color and personality. If you don't have that freedom, it's hard to display that through your brand.
Yeah,
So I get
exactly.
it. So I think I have another aspect of my content where it can be very like rigid or just aesthetically pleasing, and that can fit a lot of briefs basically. So I can see
that's
why.
true.
Yeah.
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 If you had to pick one outcome, tight turnaround or delayed payment?
Tight turnaround.
Yeah.
Because I feel what happens in December is there's so many tight turnarounds, but then like January second week, all the payments will come in. You're like, it was worth all the stress back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in January, like when there's no work, then you're like, give me anything at this point. Yeah.
So this segment is the creator and the strategy. What are some challenges you face as a creator?
Challenges I face as a creator. I mentioned longevity with campaigns, and that's because it can sometimes be very hard to predict your cash flow and predict your earnings, especially like during Q1, Q2. So that's the biggest challenge, especially when you go full time. If you have like another job on the side that you can fall back on, that's okay. But a lot of the time you're like, I don't know when my next gig is, and you just finished, that windfall type of work. That's the toughest thing. But I'd say that, there's a tax to everything, right? So the good part is the freedom you do get, because you're not in an office all day. So even though you're sometimes worried, like I've got expenses, it's fun because you're not rigid every single day, 9 to 5. Yeah. Same to you. What are the challenges that you face as a creative?
Just always wondering what's next. You can't be comfortable at all.
Yeah.
You're just like, what's next? What am I
Yeah.
going to do tomorrow? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Because you post one thing, it does great. And it's like, okay, what am I posting next?
Tomorrow.
What brand am I working in next? So yeah, it's just always thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sidebar. Because your content is so colorful and well thought out, do you get creative block? Because from the outside, it doesn't seem like you ever run out of ideas.
I do get it a lot.
Really?
Yeah. It's just that when the ideas come, I write them all down. Then so I have ideas for even times when I don't have ideas.
Right, you just go back to it.
I go back, but it happens a lot.
I've tried writing it down, but then I'll look at it again and I'm uninspired by the last idea.
Yeah.
Because when I wrote it down, this is so good because I can hang upside down. Then in 2 months later, I'm like, why would I even think about?
Yeah,
Do you know
that
what I mean?
happens
yeah,
too.
It's this is so stupid. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Okay, I'll do the next one. What are some of your techniques for growing and engaging with your audience?
I would say posting more of what they like. Yeah, so for example, there's this series I've been doing where I just talk about unfortunate experiences and people seem to love that.
Yeah.
And I have so many bad things that have happened to me. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep adding onto that. Yeah, because they like that.
There's something about tapping into satire and pain. I don't know why. Because when I see your dating ones or things about, I think there was one. What were you talking about? Is it Chris Brown or something? When you said when you're going to a Chris Brown concert or your husband's on stage, and the weekend.
Yeah.
All these people are coming to see my husband on stage. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
The techniques I've used for growing and engaging with my audience. I'll do the last part first. Engaging with my audience is something I'm trying to do better this year, because all the strategists on TikTok or online, they reply to every comment, engage in the DMs. But personally, I'm a post and leave kind of person, which is not sustainable if you're trying to grow the audience. So I don't engage my audience enough to be able to give advice on that side. But in terms of growing the audience, I think I've tried to strike a balance with organic and paid content. And then, so with that, I try to create 4 pillars where I put content into each pillar, right? So I look at what I create as a person. So maybe one is travel, one pillar, one is fashion, one is grooming, one is wholesome family stuff and advice. And then within a month, I'll definitely try to put 2 or 3 of those out at least. And then you'll find that if someone comes to you for one pillar, the aesthetically pleasing with a nice voiceover from a podcast, they'll get that at least 2 times a month. So they're always going to stay there. There's someone else that just wants to know how to groom better, they'll always be there. So that kind of helps me keep growing the audience, because they don't drop off because they're not getting why they started following me for the first time.
One new thing I've seen that's great with engaging with your audience is, the broadcast channel thing on Instagram.
Really? Really? I just get overwhelmed with all these new developments.
It's worked great for me, and I see so many creators doing it. And
Really?
Yeah.
The channel, right? Because I always say you've been invited to this person's channel, and I just keep...
Yeah, it works great for me to find out what people want to see from me. Yeah.
So what do you post on there? Like,
Just your daily life. It could be like a behind the scenes into your life, maybe
like pictures?
Yeah,
Was it-
you could post pictures,
Oh.
you could ask questions.
Didn't even know this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so lately, one way it's helped me is that like the people in my channel told me that they love my humor and they would like for me to also like add some valuable content but still have my humor in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just hearing that from people has
Yeah.
helped because I was thinking of doing that, but I was like, I wouldn't be as funny as I used to be to them. So hearing it from them,
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
it's
It kind
like,
of
okay,
gives you
now
that
I
extra.
can, yeah,
Yeah. How often do you post there?
just randomly,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I'm going to try do that. And because my
Yeah.
engagement needs to be better with my audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have like, you take content every single day, so you
Yeah.
could just post, yeah.
Just repurpose it,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. I'm going to ask you more about that afterwards.
Yeah.
What is your creative process when receiving a brief and working with a brand?
So for me, the first thing is I look at my life, and if I have any story that relates directly to what they want to see, yeah. Because I like my content is more of like storytelling, so I draw. That's the first thing I think about, like what story in my life that people can relate to
Yeah.
would I be able to share through this
Yeah.
brand? Yeah.
And then you just make it way more dramatic, I've noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
What
the one,
about
was
you?
it, sorry, there's one more video, sorry. At Christmas time, what was the caption? Where you're sort of like sat there in different places in the house and your family's walking past you.
Oh, that. It was when you go for a family gathering thing and find out that someone you've been talking to, like dating, is actually your cousin. And that happened to me, but not in that way.
Oh, okay.
But it was in high school.
Yeah.
This guy that I had we had a crush on each other, and we would stare at each other. We would
No
whatever.
words, just staring, no words.
No words, just staring at each other. And if I caught him looking, I would look away and whatever.
Amazing.
And then, so on Parents' Day, we saw our parents talking, and they're like, "Oh, have you met your cousin?" And
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. So it was actually from real life. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How's he doing?
well, he's my cousin.
Anyway.
Yeah. What's your creative process when receiving a brief from working with a brand?
So I'm not as organized as people might think I am. So I'll have a brief, right? So there's two ways it happens. I'll read a brief and straight away I'll be like, okay, that's how I'm going to do the video. Like, I don't even think about how to create it. Or I'll sit with the brief, I'll be like, okay, noted, I need to make this video within the month for a beverage brand, right? And then just as I'm going about my day, or normally in the shower, or just like before I go to bed, it will be at the back of my mind, and I'll see something, and I say, okay, how can that spiral from there? Example was the other day I was watching, it's this like murder, what's it called? Fool Me Twice on Netflix, right? And there's like a scene where these cops like interrogating someone, and in my head I was like, the next time I have a brand that needs a concept, then I can always weave in this, you know, that dramatic interrogation scene where they're like, where's the this? You can, if it's like a detergent brand,
Yeah.
you can be like, how are you so clean? And then you just spiral from that.
Yeah.
So I'll always have something at the back of my mind, but I never write it down. It's just, I'm
Yeah.
not organized
I think
like
that's
that.
another thing about creators. You get inspired by everything you see,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, yeah, I'm going to do this
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day.
yeah. Do you like take other people's, do you see someone else's content and then just adapt it as well? Or?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
A lot,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I don't know, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Like when I see, even like a trend, I struggle doing a trend unless it's like a recap thing. I don't know.
Well, I feel like you don't have to follow every trend, but sometimes I see one that speaks to me, and I know how I could weave myself into it, and then I would do it. Yeah.
And it's normally super effective for numbers as well, right?
Yeah.
So like once or twice drop a trend. Okay.
Yeah.
So trend and broadcasting is my thing for this year. Okay. Oh, we have a game.
Using what you've just said, talk us through your creative process from concept to execution on one of these briefs in 60 seconds. Car ride sharing. The aim is to encourage people to book a journey using our ride sharing service through a 30-second to 1-minute video. Concept example, you're running late to an interview. you're going to a fancy event where you don't want to drive, or you're on the way to the airport. Deliverables, one video sharing on both TikTok and Instagram, one story set of 3 slides, and a bonus question is, what would your rate be for this?
So just to be clear, it's a cab app, and you're emphasizing the fact that you can use this to save time.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I want to tap into the time aspect, right? So I would use myself as kind of like the satire, because I typically take a long time getting ready, and my audience knows that, right? So I would have somebody that keeps texting me, like just making sure, maybe my sister, like just making sure you're like at this place. And I'll keep saying the same phrase to put in people's minds. So I'm like, it's so fine, we're fine. Like, it's so fine, we're fine. So she'll be like, have you remembered to iron your shirt before you leave? Because remember, we have to be there by 6:30. And I'll be like, yeah, it's so fine, we're fine. But I'm actually sat there on the TV just like chilling, right? Then another text comes in and you can see the time like ticking. Another text comes in and then she's like, remember, you need to pick up your jacket from the dry cleaner before you. And I'm like, it's so fine, we're fine, right? And then this time I'm like getting in the shower gradually. And then it's looking, and then on the parallel, you can see her like really stressed out, getting ready. And then she gets in the car, maybe with like her boyfriend or a family member. And then, wait, oh God. I got so excited. I forgot we were timed. Can we do it one more time? It's so fine, we're fine. This is the problem with not being, sorry, I thought 60 seconds. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to just summarize what I was going to say in 60 seconds. Okay. Essentially, 2 screens, one person's really organized, they're getting ready, and they're like really on time, right? And then they keep texting me updates, when are you going to be ready? And I keep texting them like, it's so fine, we're fine, I have time. So I'm doing different things and lying to them that I'm actually at this certain place. But then they take like a normal car, and then I'll just book the cab, but they have to wait for their friend to get picked up. So by the time I get there, I actually beat them, and I'm like all dressed, and they're like, how did you get there? I'm like, never mind. Then I'll be like, it's so fine, we're fine at the end. And then like the taxi app would like come up basically to show that I took the taxi, you didn't, and I got there before you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would your rate be for this?
So that would be for one video that would
on
go
TikTok and Instagram,
on TikTok.
and one story set of 3 slides.
Okay, so what I'll do, because there's multiple deliverables, I'll make a package. So I'd say, okay, you can get the Instagram and TikTok. They'll be charged individually, but then the stories I'll give you as a value add because you're making multiple deliverables. So for the IG video, it'll be like $1,800 to $2,000. And then for TikTok, my audience is less, so it'll be like $800 around there, and then the stories will be a value add. But then you negotiate, obviously. Yeah, and ask for multiple deliverables like later on too. That was fun. So now it's your turn. So a vegan skincare brand is launching. It's luxury gifting, natural gift scents, and wants the creators to share the message of sharing, being close to their loved ones, themselves, or the spaces around them in a creative way. It shouldn't be longer than 30 seconds. So some examples of the content. It can be a surprise gift for your favorite person, or a self-care ritual for yourself in the bathroom. And then the deliverables are one video on TikTok and Instagram with 60 days of boosting.
So for this, I would look for a personal story, and for me, I would use a breakup because that's when I feel like girls feel at their lowest and they would need to love themselves more. So maybe I would talk about breaking up and how to love yourself through that process and remind yourself that, you know, you don't need that man. So, yeah, and it would be like a guide. So maybe buy yourself flowers, maybe, I don't know, meditate, and then I would now include that luxury skincare brand into the whole process of like how to get over breakup and get in touch with yourself. Yeah.
Oh, I'd watch that. You actually listen to the timer. Okay. So if that video is for Instagram and TikTok with 60 days of boosting, how much would you charge brands?
Maybe $2,000 to start with. Yeah, I don't know.
2,000, yeah. For the video to go with the boosting for 60 days.
With the boosting, see, that's a problem I've been having. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to charge for that.
Oh, for boosting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is for 60 days. So normally I think I'd charge like 30% of what the video costs for the boosting. So say if it's obviously like $1,000, then you charge them 300 per 30 days. Yeah, so it'd be like your 1,000 plus 600. That's how I would do it personally. Yeah, because I look at it similar to UGC because they're putting money behind your video, so you should be paying them for the same service. Because in my head, they would go for like they could have done a whole video shoot and spent loads of money for that same ad, but you're giving them your time shooting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, even the 30% of the original price I think is good, but that's how I'd start. Because what I found as well.
I only recently found out that
Yeah.
you're supposed to even charge for that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, now people should know. But the thing is, I don't know how it is in LA, but like here, like UGC boosting, etc., is really like overlooked. Like I had conversations with brands where I'm like, this is my fee, and because you've asked for this, it's extra. And they were like, no, because you're making the video for us, so we should be able to use it. I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
If you want to make a video, go make a video, make a concept. But if you want me to be in your video and you want the same skill that I put on my page on yours, then there's a fee attached to that. So yeah, I think especially in this
sometimes
market.
brands don't even tell you that they're gonna do that.
Yeah. That's now legal.
Yeah.
That's like a legal conversation. Yeah, I've got very people close to me that's happened to as well. Hopefully this conversation, guys like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So we're not the only people. What has been your experience when it comes to collaborating with brands? You've touched on it a bit.
I have, but I need to talk about like a problem we face as humor creators,
Preach.
because we're always crying in each other's DMs.
Really?
So most of the time, brands would come knowing what kind of content you post, and they're like, yeah, we like how authentic and relatable you are. But then when you put that into their content, it's like, no, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I had that experience with a skincare brand. And personally, I know if I just posted myself using the skincare and nothing else, that wouldn't get any engagement. You know?
Yeah.
So we face that a lot as humor creators. And so that's why for me, creative freedom is such a big thing.
This makes sense. Yeah. And the thing that frustrates me about that is you came to me because of what I've created already. So I want to continue creating that with your thing.
Yeah.
And my audience came here for the same reason. So why are we, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That must be very frustrating. Is there any, in terms of like money and human creatives, are you taking it as seriously as like a business creator or like a family creator? Do they kind of
say we are.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in negotiation, they expect to see somebody like just laughing through a briefing or.
They really don't take you. People don't take you seriously in general. Yeah.
I think one of the best things for you would be to have somebody that's like does the conversations for you to give that barrier, so you can still be. It doesn't like tarnish the humor.
On finding that right now.
Yeah, or just pretend to be someone else. Just pretend to be someone else on your email.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
My email.
Regards management. Like. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Right.
Okay, what's your experience?
My experience when it comes to it's a range. It's a broad question, so I'll just say the good and then the bad, right? So my experience collaborating with brands has been the bigger brands have often had so much more like red tape, people to get through, long onboarding processes, the creative freedom is not there. And then after all that, the budget is way smaller. So my best engagements have been when I'm dealing with somebody quite high up in the company already. They sign off quickly. It's me and you talk. Yeah, this is your business. Cool. You're the owner. I'm the owner of my business too. So let's have a conversation quickly, right? But the only good thing about the bigger brands on that side is that you can get quite good longevity. So you take the good with the bad where, okay, maybe it's not great with pay, but you're giving me rent for like 3 months, right? So there's been that. The downside as well I've seen with the Kenyan market specifically, I can only speak to us, is that there's a lot of gigs and collaborations that just go to people that are in the same group chat, which is very frustrating.
I've seen that.
Yeah, right? Because you can see somebody doing a gig and you're like, I really appreciate you as a creator, but I know 10 people that align with this so much more. Yeah. But then I see you partying with the brand manager, so I know how that's happened, right? Yeah. It's been annoying where you've had to make it undeniable that they have to go with you. That's been my mindset. Like even if I'm not friends with brand managers, the only time I've had good collaborations is when my work has been so good that even if they don't want to use me, they have to use me, and then you do a good job and it kind of carries on. And then once that's done, you'll get chosen over their friend because they want to get a good report to their owners.
Yeah.
So that's been my experience with collaboration.
Yeah.
So yeah, here and there.
Yeah, I remember there was one specific creator that I saw getting every single thing, and I was like, why? And then later I found out that they were like really close with one of the brand managers. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's-
yeah. Like I've had candid conversations on the phone where someone's like, "Yeah, let's just come do lunch and talk about it," and I'm like, "No, let's email." You know, like because I think there's that they want to take it out of the office, and then there's maybe other stuff that goes on. So the collaboration sometimes to me has been it's been a bit tough because you don't know if you're going to get the gigs that are right for you, and then when you see them elsewhere, it's a bit disheartening. Yeah, yeah. But to end on a positive with that one, the best times is when it's been kind of like on a whim, like, oh, we've got a really quick campaign, can you quickly do this? You do a really good job, and then they're like, okay, there's so much more coming because of that quick engagement. That's the good side, when there's not much time for them to negotiate or look for somebody. That's when it normally works out quite well.
Yeah, I could say my positive because
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
was only negative. I could say that it would be when they wanted to work with me for just one thing and they end up liking what I did and they're like, okay, we have more coming up. What do you
Yeah.
think about this?
Yeah,
How would you?
yeah. So true.
So I like that.
Okay. Are you with management or are you an independent creator?
I am independent, which so many people have come to my DM saying, "Oh, you have such a good manager." Yeah, which is like, okay, I don't know if that's supposed to
That's
be.
definitely a good thing, yeah. It
Is
means
it?
you're standing on business, like on your own, though. Like you're
Yeah.
managing to negotiate and talk to individuals.
Yeah, okay.
Damn. Do you want to have a manager or no?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I just need to create. But
Mm,
I find myself doing like 5 million different things. So yeah, I want to have.
I recommend highly, like even if it's not manager, even if it's just like assistants, right? Because I think my word last year was delegation, and from doing that, my creativity has like remained intact.
Yeah.
So I recommend doing it this year for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm not managed, but I have like people within my team that assist me basically. But in terms of, okay, so my podcast, we're looking to get managed, right? We want to get managed for that side because it's not as creative, and there's a bit more, it's a different kind of product. So on that side, yes. But me as an individual, when it comes to negotiating, I'm not the face of negotiation. It's my PA that does that, and we discuss everything internally. But I don't get managed where people go and do outreach for me. We just do it within the team, basically. Yeah. But it's quite rare in Kenya. I've not seen many people with management in Kenya as of yet.
I've seen few, but not.
It's few.
And
It's
it's
few.
more creators who are also in the entertainment industry that I see having that.
More influencers than creators.
Yeah.
That have got management. Yeah.
So how do you work on building creator relationships?
I don't anymore. I'll be honest. I don't. I used to. So when I first started, I was new to the industry and new to the country. So you have to do like double the legwork to kind of get in the rooms and like know who does what, so that you can call in favors, etc. But I've realized when there's friendships linked to work too much of the time, it can compromise the work because you can go on a trip, something happens, and you don't really want to work with this person, or you hang out too much. So I've actually tried to be more scarce as a creator and just stay within my team and then stay within like my family. But when it comes to, you know, being like having relationships with another skincare or another grooming creator, I don't really do that. And if we're collaborating, let's collaborate, let's shake hands, let's have lunch and let's dip. Yeah.
I have the same experience because I started out as a TikToker, and the minute I started just hanging out with other TikTokers, it actually like.
Yeah. There's a fine line between it's beneficial then detrimental.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. What happened? Next card. Oh, this is my favorite card. This is my favorite card.
Money talk.
Money talks, baby. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh. What is your highest paid deal?
My highest paid deal was $10,000, and it was with an educational brand. So I was working with them for a period of 3 months, and in that period of 3 months, I think I did like 4 videos for them that I posted on my TikTok, but they also have been using them everywhere.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Is that linked to our prior convo where it's been like the video's been used afterwards? Was that a part of your deal?
Yeah, that.
Oh,
that
it was part of the
works.
deal. Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. That's good though. That's really good. And that was for the 3-month period, like a round figure. Okay. My highest paid deal. Interesting. So there's two ways to look at this. There's a side where, okay, like you said, like a long period of time, or there's like per deliverable. So I've made 790,000, and that was for 2 videos and a organizing an event. Yeah, so like three deliverables, and one was like a physical thing. Yeah. And I think for me as well, it was like in a span of 2.5, 3 weeks. Yeah. In dollars, I think that's about $6,000, $5,000. Yeah. But it's different economies, Kenya versus America. Yeah. Okay. Next one. What's the lowest deal you've ever taken, and why did you take it?
My lowest deal is nothing.
Yeah.
And I took it because at the time I was a new creator and it was a restaurant that I would go to all the time. So I figured if I'm getting this food for free, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't fine. I found out later, but at the time I was like, it's fine.
It happens. We've all had those ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Second lowest, the one that you got money, but it was a low figure.
it was on electronics. This one is even worse. Like, it was an electronics brand that paid us like 10,000 shillings per month to post 3 times a week on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah,
10,000.
10,000.
That's like $80.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And
but
it was a really big brand.
They always are.
Yeah.
They always are. My gosh.
And the brief they sent me, they were like, you're a micro influencer, so this is our budget for you.
Oh, I've had those conversations. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm happy to be here. This is a big brand. But everyone thinks you're so rich because you're working with that big brand. But
The only perk I've seen with that is when you're building your media kit and then another brand sees you've worked with, the top electronics company, they assume the same thing. So when you say, no, because I've worked with a similar brand, these are my rates. But you don't lie and say, this is what they paid me. Say, these are my rates based on prior work, etc. Just using language. Yeah. So there's a benefit, because I'm sure the 10,000 came from something in your media kit, right? Lowest deal. Oh, I didn't finish the highest one, because I said there was for 1 gig, and then it's like extensive period of time. I've had like a contract that's been like two or so years, and that was like over half an M a month. So that was the best deal in terms of making money regularly over a long period of time. Yeah, but that stopped. What's the what's the lowest deal I've ever taken? The lowest deal I ever took was, again, nothing. So I'll go to the next one. Again, but it wasn't for me.
wait, why did you take the nothing one?
Oh, why did I take the nothing one?
Yeah.
Same thing. I just got here. I think I got clothes in exchange. I got clothes, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's get dressed, But then, for me, the positive is that I looked at it like, this is good for my brand kits. Yeah, so it was just to get in the door, basically. Yeah, and I was conscious of the fact it would help me later as well. Second lowest, when there was money involved, I think this wasn't for me. It was for my pod, but it's the same thing. It was again 10,000 and food, 10,000 shillings and food, and it didn't even cover production. Nothing. It covered like transport.
Yeah.
And they were very pleased that they'd given it to us. And it was like a privilege that they've, given it to us. So borderline insulting. But that didn't benefit us afterwards, to be fair. It just helped us with getting a space and, getting free food for the crew. So actually, we broke even because the bill would have been about 10,000 to feed the crew. Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself sometimes paying to work with a brand?
Huh?
In terms of like production.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you're giving the brand money to promote their thing. As in you go at a loss because you've used expenses.
Yeah.
Not to work with the brand, but I've done it where you've bought the products, you've made the content so that they can work with you later. So say if I really like this moisturizer, if I probably use it anyway, I'll buy like a fresh bottle because I'm going to make a video, and then hopefully when I tag you later on in a few months, you might work with me. That didn't work out, but that's been a rationale that I've used.
To me too.
Yeah, it's a rationale that I've used. Yeah, but they always. My weird thing with that is that, you know, and I asked the brand manager this recently. I said, okay, if I want to get visibility by this specific moisturizer, right, and then I've been making content with other moisturizers, would you then be like, okay, he uses competitor products or he uses moisturizing products, so let's see if he can now use ours? And I thought they would say, because you've been using this product, even if it's not branded, we're not going to work with you. But I was surprised to know that they said, if you're just in that category, we want to now take you and use you as an example with our product. So in my head, actually going into this year, I want to be tagging for no reason now. And then if it's electronics, maybe I've got a different brand TV, but this guy sees how I promote TVs and gives me a different brand as well.
Yeah.
Because I used to just not tag to be sure that like when you come to me, I've not worked with the brand. Yeah.
For me, the same thing. I would wear clothes from this one Kenyan brand, tag them in everything. They ignored me, but another fashion brand, which is bigger, and they were like, we like your style. So sometimes it doesn't work out with that brand.
Specific one. Yeah. So just tag, I think, is the lesson. How do you negotiate with brands?
I send them my rates card, and I'm like, but if your budget is different, we can have a conversation. So I always let them know that if this is too high for you, we can still have that conversation. Yeah.
Can we role play like an interaction via email? Okay. Hi Sheila, I've really loved what you're doing with your lifestyle content. We would love to just send you some gifts, and maybe you could just post us if it's something that you're interested in, and we could discuss potentially collaborating later. Send.
Hi, brand. Unfortunately, I'm not able to take on unpaid work at the time. Do you have any budget for creators at all? This is my media kit.
Okay, goes quiet for 3 days. Hi Sheila, thank you so much for your email. We've discussed internally, and we have a budget of $500 for 3 videos on your TikTok platform. Plus, we would love to gift you 2 of our watches from our new collection. Is this something you'd be interested in? Please let us know. Send.
According to... Hi, brand. According to my media kit, $500 is what I charge for a story post. So I would love to work with you on that level. But if you want me to do a video, what do you say?
3 videos on your TikTok platform, plus gifting.
This would be my rate, as I said in my head. Well, I wouldn't be that direct, but the rate is as is in my media kit. We could negotiate on that price a little bit, but 500 just doesn't work for those deliverables.
Okay. Hi Sheila, replies immediately. Hi Sheila, thank you so much for your response. We are happy to match your budget. However, can we request a story as a value add at the beginning and at the end of the campaign? Send.
Hi, brand. Sure, that works for me. Thank you. Send.
Okay, TCYL. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
So that's how you negotiate typically with brands, yeah? I think you have to stay firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think they start here and they kind of see what they can get away with, and then when they realize this guy's not moving, or girl's not moving, sorry, then they actually go, fair.
How do you negotiate?
So firstly, I use my team as like a buffer, so that I'm not there, I'm just CC'd. But typically the same as you. I also don't really reach out to brands anymore, which is a bad thing. I need to.
Yeah.
But if they do reach out, I'll offer them a package deal. So I'll try to ask them for their budget, but then it's like this back and forth where, like, send us your rate card, send us your budget, send us your rate card, send us your budget. If they send me the budget, this scenario, then I'll say, okay, within that budget, you can get these deliverables. And then I'll also add, you get this as a value add as well. So they know they're getting a very sweet deal where I'm fitting in your money and I'm giving you something extra. Then I'll also say, like, hopefully this is the beginning of a long-term relationship. So there's like more value there. If they ask me for deliverables, then I'll give them the quotation and then the rate card to back that up. Then when they come back, they'll typically come back and slash it by about 25%. Then I'll now top up and say, okay, I can't give you 25% off, I can give you 5% off. They'll be like, no, give us 10% off. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you 8. And then we'll go back and forth like that. Okay. But I think there's some non-starters where if you've done 2-3 emails and they've moved like $100, $200, I'm like, do you know what, all the best, be safe, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah. Or they offer you like commission.
Yeah, affiliate links. Let me not. If I no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But like, I don't mind affiliate links if it's also got payment.
Yeah.
But if it's just like
that's the only thing.
Yeah, if that's the only thing, then yeah, no. Okay. Or exposure. Sorry, what's that? We'll pay you an exposure. That's the thing. I'm so triggered right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So
this is like therapy.
I'm so triggered. Okay. What's the number one thing you ask brands before you collaborate?
Well, the budget, because in the past, sometimes brands would try to just be like, well, there's this one brand that I've worked with for a long time, and I found that, so sometimes after you've worked with them for a while, they're like, okay, could you do this for us? We need this by Friday, and it's like we haven't spoken about payment or anything. And if you do that, then they'll just pay you whatever. So for me, it's always the budget first, and we have to be firm on that.
Yeah, facts. Sometimes it's a good thing when they're in a rush, though. I find that when they're like kind of chaotic, they don't really know. They're like, you give them a number, they don't have time to go back and like get approval. They're just like, okay, fine, just sort of do it. Yeah. Okay. So budget first. I think the same as me, but I always ask for a deposit of 50% first, because that 30-day thing your landlord doesn't care about your deliverables. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, give me 50% so that I know in terms of cash flow, if I've done 3 videos and I'm waiting 60 days for some, 90 days for some, at least for the 3 videos, it's like I've been paid for 1.5, you know? Yeah, because of my deposit, yeah. But then some brands say no, but if you get,
of brands say no.
But then I find like, if you say it from the jump, a lot of the time, they kind of prepare. And if you say, I can't do it unless we do, they're like, okay, fine, we'll find a way. And then if you ask 10 brands and 4 do, at least you've got like 40% of 20% of your income from that period or quarter.
Would you advise, like, let's say smaller creators to do that? Because I feel like there's some things creators have told me they do that I feel like if you're not as established or if the brand doesn't feel like they need you, they'll just say bye. So I found there's this creator who told me that when they send her a contract, she sends them a contract that if you don't pay me within this time, there's an additional fee of this amount.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not every creator can do that.
I wouldn't send a counter contract. That's very dramatic. I would be like, can you add this into the payment clause whereby payment is within 30 days and after 7 days elapses, every day after that adds this much interest per day. Because then if you put that in the contract and you highlight that that's been said, their finance department's like, just put these guys through first, and the other guys that were chilling, will pay them in 90 because there's no consequence for that. So I'd say to do that. And then with asking for a deposit, I know there's some brands that have some like global agencies that there's no way they can put it through finance. So I'll ask all brands to do that, but like on the onboarding forms and everything, if it's huge agencies, it's not going to happen because of the cash flow thing. But if it's an independent business or you're talking to a brand owner directly, you can say, I only work with 50%, I only do that. And you can normally gauge with the kind of person you're talking to. If they're more personable and you know the order of ranking than they are, then you get more than 50% of the people will pay you a deposit. And then the other 30, you kind of just take that on the chin and use these for cash flow. But I think it's not about how big you are as a creator. I think it's about how your relationship with the brand manager or the owner, or even if you're very niche in what they're looking for, you have way more leverage to negotiate on. Because if they want a humorous video about Valentine's Day, who else are they going to go to? Do you know what I mean? So something like that, you can be like, no, I need 50%, and you add 20% on to what you would normally charge because you're a niche. It's Valentine's Day. They're going to make bank. They have a budget for that period anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you diversify your income as a creator? And if so, how?
Diversification. Okay. Yeah, I think I have. I think I've used my brand leverage to do other projects. So, for instance, like events, my brand has evolved into like a pod as well. I've got some other things that are in the works for this year where my brand's gonna like help push it. But I think the main thing I diversified into is like probably just events at the moment. But I think creating B2C income is something I've not missed the boat, but like I've been late in doing so. But I think B2C is so key, like small items, small collectibles, especially the fact that my brand is like fashion related and we live in a city where men's fashion is not prominent. It's something I need to get into, even if I don't, well, I do want to as well, but like it's a need.
Yeah.
So I intend to. I haven't done it as well as I could, but I've seen the benefits when it comes to physical events and my brand's just helped push it. Yeah. Yeah. Have you diversified your income?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I create that I don't post. There's this one brand that I worked with that I still work with from time to time, and they gave me a job of just like making them funnier. So they're like,
Oh wow!
yeah,
Like
which
consulting.
I really like, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, this is what we want to do. How could we make this relatable? So it's just like focus groups of how to reach a certain audience and how to make it relatable and funny, which I like doing. So being able to do that for brands is really good.
And I think we take for granted that kind of skill set because you know, for you, it's natural, right? Obviously, it's all calculated when you're making content, but it's a natural thing that not many people can sit down and create a concept like you just did when it came to Valentine's Day, cream, you know, etc. Or even like the weekend video we talked about. So I think a lot of creators, if you could do something that other people take like double the time, triple the time, 4 times the time, I think you should definitely monetize that. I think I want to be doing more of that because one thing I was surprised in, I forgot to mention now that you said that, is in terms of diversifying, one of the things I do is I run an agency as well. And like our biggest client came through them knowing me personally online and then me working with them as a creator. Then they became a client for now my agency that I run. And then I was shocked that they came to me first to be like, when I had the first meeting, I thought they wanted me to consult like you. But then they're like, no, we want you to actually run all of our digital strategy. And I was like, okay, wait, pause. So I have this in my locker. Yeah. I've never used it and exercised it. So yes, I have diversified because you just reminded me. And I've realized that we have skills we don't realize we have because we do it every day.
We do, yeah,
Every
we do
single day.
like so many things
Yeah.
as creators. And you could use your skills to help other people. Yeah.
I think a good equation could be like, you know how you said you do 5-6 things, like accounts, reaching out, etc. I would say delegate that and then do more of the consulting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because this comes naturally. This is what someone else does naturally. Right. So, Sheila, what is your final message to content creators or anyone looking to become a content creator?
I know this is said like 5 million times, but just start. Like I feel like everyone has something that they can offer that no one else can. And so your story matters, your voice matters, whatever it is. Because I see people creating about anything and they all have an audience. Everyone has an audience. So, yeah. Whatever you want to say, it matters and there's an audience for it.
Yeah. On the back of there's an audience for it. If there's a guy that can push jars downstairs,
exactly,
break things and make a lot of money, you can create.
And did you see the girl that goes live and I don't know?
Oh, is that any the mass wing? No.
Exactly.
Is that one? No, that's something else.
The ice cream one.
She's like, yummy. And she's
exactly.
like, what does she say?
Like,
she says,
ice cream so good.
Yeah, ice cream so good. Yeah, ice cream so good. Yeah.
And there's like 30,000 people on the live watching.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah. There's an audience for everyone. There's an audience for everyone. Yeah. My piece of advice, definitely start. But if you want to be consistent, you have to make some sort of plan and give some sort of value.
Yes.
Because I think if you're just like the ice cream girl, she must be amazing, but you can't do that at 65. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because like, what value are you giving at that point if you're still doing? People will go elsewhere. They're done. But say if she, let's not make examples, but like if you're giving something to someone, you're growing your skill set while doing that, then you're teaching them how you're doing what you're doing at the same time. You're being transparent and you're being yourself consistently over a long period of time, then the people that you're looking for will stay with you. Because I think a lot of people, there's so many creators online, there's so many platforms that have come up. I think people are tired of things that are too beautiful, things that are too fake, and things that are just made with the intention of you need to look at this and just say, wow. I think people just want to sit down, scroll on their TikTok. That's why TikTok's so successful. They want to see that guy that lies there and he just like summarizes the video. Do you know that the Asian guy?
Yeah.
Where like he'll stitch a video and just says, she does this. It's like cutting through all of the BS where people do these long like, I'll hook you here and I'll make you stay for like 80, 60 seconds. Just tell me what you want to tell me so we can carry on going. So I think doing that, and in terms of making the plan, I would say make the plan as close to your personality as possible. Something that you'd be able to do if there was like no cameras, and something that people always say that you're good at anyway, and you do with minimal effort.
Yeah, that's more sustainable.
Yeah, 100%. Because you can just pick up your camera. There's no need to be like, before I record, I have to do this, right? You should get to a stage where you can just pick up the phone, and your friends and audience will still be like, that's still you at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And I resonate with that more.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I would also say start taking yourself seriously from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because from our stories, we clearly we were like, I'm just happy to
Just
be
happy
here.
to be here.
You know?
Yeah.
So and then when you start like that, it becomes harder to come back to the same brand that you didn't take you seriously and tell them, okay, now I'm ready to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
So just start from the beginning.
And there's a thing someone said on the podcast once. I think it's Chucky Online, and he was like, once your rates are out there, brand managers talk. Everyone knows that was your rate. So if you now come and say times 17 because your rates were a joke, that guy's probably spoken to that guy and said, I got him for this cheap. So if you start here, you can never go lower.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Sheila, give us the tea. Sorry. Have you? That's what the kids are saying these days.
Right.
Have you got? Oh my God! Have you got any future exciting projects coming up?
I have my show, Notable Manners.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
There's an episode with a guy called Eli specifically. Really good
Which
episode,
was really funny, and he went viral for not knowing what cheaply was.
That happened. Yeah.
But so I have a show called Notable Manners. Yeah. For now, that's what's coming up. Changing my content a bit this year to be a bit more valuable. So anyone who wants to know anything or ask me anything, this is the time. Because before I was just there to make people laugh, but now I'm like, there's advice I can give, there's things I can do.
Amazing. Yeah, please don't lose the humor. Please.
It's gonna be there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What about you? Give us the tea.
The tea? You want the tea? I'm one of those weird people that don't really say what they're doing. And my boy was telling me this the other day to be sharing more. What have I got coming up? I have my podcast coming up, Man Talk. We have another season this year where we're going to be going to different places outside of Nairobi. That'll be fun. We're doing that again. My personal brand, what have I got as a personal brand? Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't say it, though. I'm making products that's linked to my personal brand. Working on some physical things that can benefit creators that will also be linked to my personal brand. I have my event, the Insta Market, that is back in 2024 as well. That's where creators can come, where young businesses can come as well.
I love that. I sold
thank you.
clothes
Yeah. A lot of clothes. Should vendors come more?
Yeah,
okay.
they should.
So that's coming back as well. And I think just more homeware content. I've moved to a new place, so my content is not just going to be fashion and travel. So there's going to be a lot more content that's like to do with furniture, like that kind of bachelor life to help other guys that might be moving out, like styling your house. Because I think it's a extension of how you style yourself, right? So more home content and way more travel content as well.
Yeah, even for me, a lot of people are like, you used to make us laugh from Nairobi. Now you're in LA. We don't know how that happened. You just changed locations. So I feel like, I'll start sharing more about
100%.
my life.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, I'd like to see what you get up to in LA on a day-to-day
Exactly,
basis. Yeah. Thank you, Creators on Creators, for having us. I've been Eli Mwenda.
And I've been Sheila Ajjie.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow Creators on Creators for more episodes.